Let's go to the Plains, JD. Keep this new head coach streak rolling here. We got Auburn. They're led by Alex Golesh. You probably don't know what to do with this now, just given what happened to Florida with that win total. But Byron Brown's in the fold. I think that's worth a couple wins when you have a new head coach for sure with that continuity. What do you think the over-under win total is for the Auburn Tigers here?
I'm going to do something that I don't like doing on this show, which is hedging a little bit here and adapting to that information around Florida. I have on my paper over under 5.5 for Auburn. I'll add a game to that and say 6.5. If we're bumping Florida to 7.5, I'll go ahead and say Auburn's at 6.5.
That Ivy League education is paying off, JD. It is, in fact, 6.5 for the Auburn Tigers. Yeah, man, I think the adjusted scale, I'm not going to recommend or discourage you from using it moving on. Just trust yourself. But I think given this team's history recently, I think getting 7 wins would be a huge success for them, honestly. I think 6, even making a bowl, would be impressive. I think it's more so about showing there's proof of concept on the offense. Be exciting. Show Byron Brown as a blueprint for the rest of your history under this goalish regime on offense. What do you think about the 6.5 number for Auburn?
Well, I will just say what we've talked about in the office around with Byron Brown. I understand the throwing motion is unconventional for some of the Twitter quarterback coaches out there, but the guy threw for 3,000 yards last year and ran for 1,000. I know the AAC isn't the SEC, but like everyone who's so quick to talk about the motion and this and that, it's like, okay, well, if you for 3,000 yards last season, let's all just take a beat before we end up playing Steve Clarkson quarterback Dreammaker, all right? The thought that I have with Auburn, though, that gives me confidence in them being able to make a bowl game in year one under Alex Golesh, or maybe do more than that, Cato, they're not having syllabus week at Auburn in this offense. And those that are in our college audience know, like that first week of classes, they call it syllabus week, where you're just getting the overarching look at what is going to be required in this class to have success. So people are kind of just taking that first week off. Maybe you're showing up to the syllabus week classes, maybe you're not. Auburn's not having a syllabus week for this offense. It's a lot of carryover from what they brought from USF to Auburn in your center, in quarterback Byron Brown, and several skill players. Like there is a lot of guys that know what the heck it is from day one when they touch the grass for Auburn during spring ball. Also, DJ Durkin, the DC out there for Auburn, he's quietly been awesome. Like I know last year wasn't a great season for Auburn, but that defense, they got some pieces to replace. DJ Durkin, Ohio State wanted him when they were trying to hire a DC prior to Matt Patricia, and Auburn was able to retain him. So confidence in the carryover on the offense, personnel-wise, confidence in who's calling the defense. I just think personality finds a way, man. Like I just think the personality of your head coach, much like we said for Florida, it's the same thing for Auburn. I just think Alex Golesh is the right amount of fire, of intensity. Auburn was 1-6 in one-score games last year. 1-6. That's not even counting the fact they blew a halftime lead over Georgia at Jordan-Hare. So I think that they end up probably being a little bit better in those one-score games. Biggest question is what we've already said. AAC transitioning to the SEC. It's not a to B kind of progression. Probably will be some growing pains there. What does that look like? Biggest game, September 19th when they host Florida. Auburn, Cato, hasn't won their SEC opener since 2022. Belief is a heck of a drug. If you can take some in your SEC opener by beating another first-year head coach and kind of get some mojo of, okay, hey, we can do this, boys, I think that'd be huge. So I'll go ahead and say I like the over for Auburn as well, with them being right around 7. I'm taking the over. It's heavy today, brother, but I think the over at 7 is probably a good number, much like it is for them in Florida. Maybe that's a game where they both play to maybe that ends up being the difference between one of those teams and Auburn and Florida being at 7 wins. But yeah, a lot of just continuity that makes me feel good about them year one on the Plains.
Yeah, it's a pretty nice schedule too to me if you're Auburn. If you're first-year head coach and you get to play another first-year head coach in John Summerall, another at Arkansas. You got LSU technically having a first-year head coach. I think Vanderbilt with a freshman quarterback, like Mississippi State on your schedule. Like to me, is actually a pretty navigable schedule, all things considered, in the SEC. So best of luck to those boys. I lean under just generally here, but the schedule wouldn't surprise me. I think this is an excellent line for them, and I think celebrations on the Plains if you hit the over there. 7 wins would be huge, and I think the way that 7 wins would look would probably be worth celebrating and worth having some confidence moving forward there on the Plains. But